Danger Dolan. From droids popping up in the most unlikely places to a tease of the greatest horror movie crossover ever, we look at 15 Easter eggs you might have missed in famous films.
Number 15.
The flux capacitor in Polar Express. You remember that Christmas movie about a train that featured terrifying CGI that made it look more like a horror film than one about the North Pole? Well, turns out that train could also time travel, because none other than Doc Brown's patented flux capacitor is on board. Obviously a nod to director Robert Zemeckis working on both films. Hell, the Polar Express could actually be the train from Back to the Future 3. Santa Claus is really Doc paving the way for Back to the Future Christmas special.
Number 14.
E.T. in Star Wars The Phantom Menace. Poor lovable E.T. Don't tell me the prequels dragged you into this as well, did they? Unfortunately, the answer to that is yes. And the reason you probably didn't see him or his race is because they appear for a brief second in the boring as hell Galactic Senate bullshit scene. Don't you want to see where E.T. is aligned politically? Well, it's a nice gag having E.T.'s species in the film. Could have at least put them in an interesting scene, George, and not one where I fell asleep.
Number 13.
Jack Burton's singlet in Death Proof. Everyone knows Tarantino is a movie nut, meaning that all of his films feature ridiculous Easter eggs to his favourite movies. One you may not have seen though is a little bit of set decoration on the bar wall, none other than the driver of the Pork Chop Express's singlet from Big Trouble in Little China. Of course, this is because Kurt Russell stars in both movies. Makes you wonder what Kurt Russell movie Tarantino will hide references to in The Hateful Eight. I'm betting it will be the classic Overboard.
Number 12.
Sex, Hogwarts style in Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Oh yeah, here we go. All the late night hijinks, the magical kind if you catch my drift. After all, Hogwarts is essentially a high school. While not in the main film, if you carefully watch the credits that play over an animation of the Marauders map, we can see two sets of footprints in a corner. One person's feet spread open and the other person's inside. I wonder who it could be. Whoever is getting it on better be using some magical protection, otherwise it will be Harry Potter and the unwanted teen pregnancy.
Number 11.
The Millennium Falcon in Star Trek First Contact. Whoa, every geek out, get ready to have your mind blown by a very blurry shape flying around for 2 seconds. Yes, these two icons of science fiction existed briefly in the same place when sound effects artists placed the CGI model for the Millennium Falcon into First Contact's opening battle with the Borg. Though Han Solo's ride can barely be seen, it's a nice little Easter egg for fans of both franchises and for people who like blurry, flying shapes in space.
Number 10.
Peabody and Sherman in Back to the Future. In a trilogy full of references to other science fiction characters, it's no surprise you might have missed the one to our favourite time-travelling dog. When Marty arrives back in 1955, he ends up on the Peabody family farm. He just happened to have a kid named Sherman. Pretty simple, but it's very subtle in the film, making it a hard one to pick up on. I mean, they could have had a talking dog and a kid show up, but that might have made all that making a time machine out of an 80s sports car look really stupid.
Number 9.
R2-D2 in Star Trek. Yes, once again, these two juggernauts cross paths in another hard to see blurry moment of space movement. In 2009 Star Trek, as the Enterprise exits warp and enters a whole mess of destroyed ships, if you look very carefully, you can see R2-D2 just chilling out with all the dead bodies and debris floating out in space. The Tin Can then made another cameo in Star Trek Into Darkness, doing basically the same thing. Considering J.J. Abrams is now directing The Force Awakens, you can bet that these two franchises will clash again. Or R2-D2 will spend a significant amount of the film just floating around space wreckage.
Number 8.
Captain Kangaroo in Die Hard with a Vengeance. So this might be an odd one to pick up on, simply because the only connection between the two films is Bruce Willis and a TV show no one remembers. In the film, Bruce says he's been sitting around smoking cigarettes and watching Captain Kangaroo as a smart-ass comment, which is a reference to the song that's playing on the radio right before Willis's character in Pulp Fiction runs into Marcellus Wallace. And with the fact that Samuel L. Jackson is also in both movies, it's hard to call this a coincidence. But maybe Bruce just really likes the Statler brothers.
Number 7.
Bob Kane's drawing in Batman. Back before Stan Lee was popping his head up in every one of Marvel's films, DC were finding more creative ways to honor their superhero creators. In 1989's Batman, we see a nice little Easter egg to comic fans when we are shown an artist's impression of what the Batman looks like. and whose signature is on the cartoon? None other than Bob Kane, the father of Batman himself. It's a nice little touch that doesn't break the film to say, hey look, we're doing a tribute. Do you get it?
Number 6.
Armin Tamzarian in Godzilla. No, not the good American Godzilla film. I'm talking about the 1998 trash fest that happens to have this Easter egg. So when Godzilla chases Ferris Bueller in Taxi, we see the taxi driver ID reads Armin Tamzarian, the real name of Principal Skinner in The Simpsons. This was probably slipped in because the voice of Skinner, Harry Shearer, appears in the film. It's a hard reference to pick up, even if you get to read the ID in the brief time it's on screen, but hey, maybe it's a coincidence. I know like 5 guys named Armin, and Tamzarian is my middle name.
Number 5.
Pac-Man in Tron. So Pac-Man in a game movie about video games. Surely everyone must know about this one. Wouldn't he be a character in the film Wreck-It Ralph style? Well no, Pac-Man can easily be missed as he spends all of 4 seconds on screen. On a screen. As our villain looks at a computer screen on the grid, Pac-Man is a tiny part doing his eating yellow dots thing. It's a nice little touch that probably was more noticeable on cinema screen, but on a TV it's really difficult to catch, that yellow bastard. Now I know how the ghosts feel.
Number 4.
C-3PO and R2-D2 in Raiders of the Lost Ark. Oh man, how could you possibly miss 2 droids roaming around a temple? What are you, a stormtrooper? Well, I understand if you did, considering they appear only as wall carvings on a temple wall, obviously being a call out to George Lucas's involvement in the franchise, as well as Harrison Ford being a nice subtle reference for fans. That said, you have to wonder, did the droid duo visit early human civilization? That's it guys, the mystery is solved, the pyramids were built by droids.
Number 3.
Freddy's Glove and Evil Dead 2. Looking for more evidence that Freddy vs. Jason vs. Ash could still happen? Well, check out this reference to the Dream Demon himself. In the scene where Ash goes to deal with his girlfriend's possessed head, we see Freddy's iconic glove appear on the door of the tool shed. This was in response to Wes Craven showing parts of Evil Dead in A Nightmare of Elm Street. Though you can't help but wonder how awesome it would be when 2 of horror's greatest one-liner generators go against each other in a fight. Freddy would probably make fun of Ash's boomstick.
Number 2.
Where's Wally and Apocalypto? Of course, that's why I can never find him in the damn books. It was on a pile of dead bodies in ancient South America. Wally, or Waldo as he's known in some places, pierced for a split second with an arrow through his cranium, topped the bodies of slaughtered Mayans. Because, you know, Mel Gibson is crazy and thought, this will convince people I am sane. I suppose we should all be thankful it was a beloved children's character rather than something horribly racist.
Number 1.
Starbucks coffee in Fight Club. Want to try and replicate Easter egg hunt in film form? Well, don't bother. David Fincher already beat you to it. Literally every scene of the film is said to contain one of the mega franchise's coffee cups lying around somewhere. So now next time you watch it, you can go hunting for cups. What a fun game. Fincher says it came about when Starbucks refused to be the coffee shop that gets vandalized, but would give them as much other stuff as they wanted, and what else would you do with 1 million coffee cups? That's it for this countdown, and have a good one!